Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around we're talking MapleStory 2 and we're talking about leveling, we're talking about different farming methods of both a prestige level but also like regular experience leveling. So the leveling process is basically you start at level 1 and you go through the epic storyline there is, and it's gonna get you to around 50, 52, depending on how much you play and how much rested experience you get for being in your house and stuff like that. Also, how much you do other things of like, you know, your gardening and farming and stuff like that. It's also going to give you experience. But it's going to take you to around that. And so how do you get from when your quest line ends and to around level 60, where other methods comes into effect, where I'm going to explain those as well. But how do you get from there to there? Well, there's a way, and it's getting to you know, farming world bosses. So sometimes in here there is world bosses, like it's called VB. You open your challenge map. I'm not sure what you binded it to, but you can see that in your, if you go to your, you know, option. Oh, that's graphics, but it doesn't really matter. Controls, and then you can see what it's binded to there. I think it's under. It's under here. It should say challenge maps there. Mine is binded to I, so I put an I and I go to my party finder and I go and I find here and I just join up with them, and then you basically run around. You can also, if you know the route, you can also basically just run there and do whatever. But also what you can do is, of course, doing your gardening and whatnot. This, like, you can't really do anything particularly solo, which of course you dash to do your gardening and stuff like that always, because you are gonna want to have your life skills going up. But if you just want to get to level 60, world bosses is the best way to do so. And also, in general, the best way to get experience is world bosses. And especially if you are in a group, because you do get extra experience there. You can also start doing dungeons and stuff like that if you want to do that with other people and stuff like that. But you can't really start soloing anything yet. So let's say you are now, you know, level casually. You're leveling some other classes on the side, and then you're doing this. Also, just, you know, having been in a guild, for example, just by checking in, you also actually get experience, and it takes you also calculated with your what's it called, rested experience. But anyways, we are now level 60. There is a small quest line, epic quest line, and it will be looking right down here, and you really open it. Right now it's the event ones, but it will like tell you to go here basically, or continue it there. And you're now gonna be level 60, and you now have some gear, and you want to go through this epic on next part of the epic quest line, basically going through that, because it's gonna tell you a bunch of stuff. It's also on the YouTube. I'm doing like a playthrough of all the epic quest line there is at the different stages and stuff like that. But go through that. You're gonna hit level, I don't know, 63, 64 maybe, depending again about how you do other things in between. And if you just want to get to 70 at that point, the best way is again world bosses. But you can start doing this method. Again, we want to go to our challenge mat. And I also have talked about this method before, because it's a good way to both earn mesos, which is the money, you're right. It's also a good way to earn different crafting materials. It's also a good way to earn prestige levels, and also a very good way to also, not, I wouldn't say a very good way, but it's a good way at least to gain experience, and it doesn't take you very long at all, and it takes a shorter amount of time going through the levels basically. But what you want to do is that you want to go to you just want to click any dungeon that is here, click it here, and then go to your it basically shows you all the hard adventures. If I clicked these hard adventures, it's going to just show you there. But then you want to click up here, go to normal adventures, and then you want to scroll all the way down and find, I wouldn't say it's called a toxic bunger, but it's called a trunksic bunger. At least a bunger here. You can do whatever you want to, but this just seems to be this. It's not like this has more experience than the other ones. It just seems to be shorter than what the other ones are. That's the one I would recommend doing. I like it a lot, and it. Yeah, you can see there's some epic gear, but you're not really gonna use that. But it gives a good crafting materials. That's what it. And what you want to do is you want to add it to your favorites, so you don't have to go in here and every time. So now you can just click up here on favorites up here. Just click that one, and Basically now you can see, okay, I've done also mortals, but it will just have the toxic one here as well. The mortal one is not as good, and it's also hard. It doesn't really matter, but we want to do the bunker and just keep doing the bunker all the time. But you're not going to get very much experience for each and every single bunker. I think it's around 800,000 experience when you get to above level 70 for them, because you are still going to get experience. But what we want, I'm gonna just close this down. But what you want is, of course, this up here, all right? So when I clear this dungeon, as you can see, I will gain, oh, you can't see for my face. Okay, I can move it up here, don't worry. There you go, you can see it now. Well, you can also see it, I guess, right here. But we're just gonna use this as the mirror. So it's the first time I go through this dungeon, because that's the first clear, and you can see this all the way up to 30. But the, what's it called? Let's see. Yes, so the very first time you go through the dungeon, you're gonna get tier 1, which is gonna give you 442,500 mesos, which is really nice, right? But you're also gonna gain 6,300, oh sorry, not 6,300,000 experience, right? So going through this, like 6 million is not a lot, but it is a good amount. It also is lower on the lower levels. That I'm level 80, so it's gonna be lower for whatever. But when you get to tier 2, it's suddenly 12 million. The tier 3 is again 12 million. And also when you get to tier 4, which is 31 million, and then 15 is another 31 million, and so on, and so on, and so on. And it's 31 million for me every time I do this. And it takes around a minute when you get the dungeon down. It takes about a minute to go through the whole thing, and then you earn these. So we don't really do the dungeons for its loot. And so, like I said, it does drop... you know, let me go back. It does drop you these blue items and stuff like that. Also sometimes the epic ones, which gives you great, you know, onyx crystals and stuff like that. Or onyx, what is it called again? Oh, also onyx crystals, that's what I mean, yeah. These ones gives a decent amount, like 1,500 or something like that. And you can do it on multiple characters. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing multiple, you know, classes for just that, doing that. And also you can, when you do go through those 15 dungeons, it kind of fits with the million experience or the million prestige level you can do every single day. So I do these 15, not really worrying about how much experience I get per the class, but just that I get the 15 done, I get my mesos, I get my prestige basically done, and so on and so on. And by doing that slowly, I can switch here to characters. You can see here, you know, these classes are all level 80, but this guy is level 75. This one I need to do the epic quest line on now, the small part there is. But then I'm gonna switch it over to keep doing what I was doing this method, right? So basically from 60, sorry, not 60, but we're actually gonna be 64 or something like that. You can start doing this, and when you hit 70, you can just keep doing this. I like this method a lot because you can, I'm gonna close this again, because you can do it by yourself. You don't have to be relying on there's a world bosses, because world bosses you can't really do it by yourself, and it's also quite stressful. This I can take a break whenever I want. I can just go in, do one dungeon, go out, just watch some YouTube or something like that, and then, you know, go in again. Or if I, you know, if I'm doing it during making my dinner, right, I can just take a break, I can just wait, and then I can do a few more, and then look to my food or whatever I'm doing, right? So it's a super great method that is very chill. It's not the best experience leveling, like it's not, if you want to go fastest from you know, from one level to the next, it's world bosses. It's 100% world bosses, but this is basically a solo kind of deal that is here. So and again, the dungeon itself is level 50, so you can't do it at level 50. You do need to be level 60 plus. I have done these at level 60, and it's not that difficult there. It might take you a little bit. Now basically at level 70 plus, I one-shot the bosses basically. But under that, around the 60 mark, you know, that's gonna take a little bit a while to get them down. But now I think I've explained it enough. I think I'd have. If I haven't, if there's something you're still curious on, make sure you comment down below, and I will of course try to explain it some more. Or maybe somebody already asked it and you can go down and see if your question is already answered down there. If you did like this method, or if you like this video, make sure you like it, maybe subscribe, helps me out very much and is super much appreciated. And the more we kind of comment and like the video, the more it gets spread to other people, so the message get out to more people, and we can make you know, so more people maybe want to play some MapleStory, and that's always a great way for a free-to-play game to grow. So thank you again so much for watching. Again, I've said everything, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.